Hey there everyone. I've been sitting on this project for nearly 2 years, and honestly, I wish I had finished it sooner, especially after the deeply saddening passing of Akira Toriyama. It's one of those things where procrastination really got the best of me. But hey, better late than never, right? I've got a ton of other projects in mind too. I just need to stop procrastinating and tackle them. Trust me, I know the struggle, especially when you're as lazy as me. But let's focus on this piece for now. I found Goku in this awesome pose. To make things simpler, I toned down the details by removing the high quality shading. I'm not exactly a master with epoxy or painting, so I kept it basic. I also decided to save on printer toner by outlining it instead of going all in with color. After printing the design, I had to cut off the margins and piece it together. My first print wasn't aligned well, so I printed another copy and get it sorted. I really enjoy using carbon paper or tracing paper to transfer designs, and then I turned them into routed out art. For this project I used a piece of old wardrobe wood, which is super soft. After lining everything up, I started tracing the design. The tricky part was having to trace both sides of the black lines for that crisp look. Once I finished one section, I'd carefully lift the tape to print and reuse the tracing paper for the next part to save on the material. After I was done with tracing, I filled in the larger cutout areas with pencil, which made routing easier, but it got tricky with the smaller parts. I then began to route out the image. Using a small CNC V-bit and my trusty cheap Makita knockoff router, which, despite being one, really got the job done. As mentioned just earlier, the pencil was good while doing larger parts, but once I got to more detailed and smaller ones, I had to change something. Here I came with an idea to use black marker pen on the areas to route out. This made everything much easier to see under the bad light in my workshop, also covered by the router. When done with routing the outlines, I switched to a finishing bit to take out the middles, as it was easier and faster using this bit. Once all the routing was complete, it was time for some serious sanding. First, I used an orbital sander with 120 grit sandpaper to lightly sand off the tracing paper lines left over pencil and marker pen. And then for some more detailing, I used a rotary tool with bits that, while not technically made for the job, they felt better at what I was doing. Once the sanding and finishing was complete, I got to my scroll saw and using spiral blade, I proceeded to cutting Goku all the way around. I find spiral blade easier to use than straight one. Again, I'm hobbyist, not professional, but maybe one day, who knows? Honestly, I didn't think this machine would move so much when working with soft wood like pine. I swear I have fixed the scroll saw after I was done with this job. Cutting out Goku was actually pretty satisfying, seeing the shape finally come to life. After cutting, I sanded the edges to smooth out any rough corners and cleared up the lines with sanding paper and my rotary tool. Next came painting the black lines with acrylic paint. It was a tedious process, and in hindsight, I might have done it a little bit too early. Well, let's just say the epoxy pours didn't go as planned. Ah yes, the epoxy pours. This is where things got a bit messy. I used a 2-to-1 two-part epoxy with some acrylic paints. And let's just say my sloppy pours resulted in some unfortunate color differences. If you can spot where I messed up, leave a comment below and let me know. I'd appreciate the feedback. Some of the epoxy even leaked onto the black lines, and I didn't capture the tedious fix on the video, but basically I had to sand it all down, then tape the piece, and using fine knife I had to cut out the lines again. After all that, I used a black acrylic paint to restore the black lines. After everything dried out, I removed the tape from epoxy and added 3 coats of spray lacquer with a light 180 grit sanding in between. And here we are, the final product stands proudly next to my Lego wall. What do you think? Should I give it to my nephew? He's a huge Dragon Ball fan and I think he'd love it. Let me know in the comments if you think it should go to him or you'd keep it yourself. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, or hit the thumbs down if you didn't. It's all good. Your support really helps the channel grow and I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching, until next time.